Man, that was some classic shit, man. Easily Offended Podcast, man. We are definitely here in the building, man.
Yes, sir.
Man, it's a long time.
Listening to that, just all time, that was just some of the funnest times, like being on the Sneaker Pimps and being with T and Gene for damn near a year. You know what I'm saying? Every other weekend or whatever, something like that. That was a great time.
Oh man, I remember we brought Titty Boy when he had the single with Lil Wayne when he first came out.
No, I'm talking about Clips. I'm talking about
Clips.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
T and Gene, right.
Matter of fact, you hooked me up one time when I was in Vegas. They was performing at Mandalay Bay.
Yep.
But we had ended up going to the Ludacris joint. You had hit me like, yo, you good over there? I'm like, damn, I'm already drunk. And Mandalay Bay is way on the other end.
Way down there.
I'm wet. I'm in the pool.
Right.
If y'all hear some voices, man, you know what I'm saying? Dave, this is your second time here, the first guest.
Our first repeat guest.
Repeat guest.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And we have a version to the show.
I'm a 2-time offender with you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
We have a version to the show. You know what I'm saying? A friend of the show, Mr. Johnathan Swain, is definitely in the building today.
Glad to be here. Glad to be here. For
You
sure.
a virgin? You a virgin?
To the show.
To the show.
I got 3 kids, bro. I got 3 kids. I know.
Yeah, I don't think that's.
And they were not spiritually.
I'm about to say, could be some immaculate conception shit going on.
Nah, brother.
Hallelujah.
Hey, man, we are in here. We're going to talk about a little bit of politics. We're going to talk about Fest. We're going to really just chop it up with the brothers, man. How's everybody's week been? I know everybody's week's been crazy. You got a daughter in college. You got the Fest coming up. Your daughter just graduated 8th grade.
Congratulations on that.
Appreciate it.
Man, I just a day in the life, man.
Day in the life of Dave Jeff.
Hey. Day in the life. It's been fun. I mean, probably like I was saying earlier, like I hosted a quinceañera.
Okay.
Yesterday. Shout out to my man G, his daughter Belen or whatever. It was dope, man. It was just a great thing. It was the family vibe that you would just think that family should. If family was a vibe, this was the vibe yesterday. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Just with all of the kids, her friends,
Explain what a quinceañera is.
It's the coming of age in the Mexican community, like when you turn 15.
Okay.
So it was her birthday. So it was a bunch of speeches. It was Abuelito is the grandfather. Abuelita is the grandmother. So it was this. It was good food. It was great music. It was a good thing, and I was the MC. So it was fun. So I got my Latin Dave. You know
Got your Latin Dave on, man.
You know what I'm saying? I still don't know who my dad is, so that's still out there. I might be.
I mean, look at that hair, man. You never
I
know.
am
You
saying,
never know.
Got my
You might get a little Latina in you somewhere, Puerto Rican or something.
It could be David. You know what I'm saying?
Boricua.
What's up, man? How was your week, man?
Full, brother. Just full.
Just
a lot
full?
of stuff, a lot of planning. We're coming down to the last weeks before planning the fest, man, and
Yeah.
just putting all the little pieces in place, man.
7 days away.
You know, all the little pieces in place, man.
Yeah, man. That's what about you, Rell, man? Had the 8th grade?
Yeah, man.
You didn't bust no tears?
I didn't cry.
I cried when my son graduated 8th grade because I didn't think he was gonna make it. I was happy. No, I'm not messing with him. He was good.
She did her thing, man. She had a 4.0. You know
What's
what I'm
up?
saying? She was kind of pissed off because there were people that got honored for having all A's for all middle school. And she missed it by like a couple of grades. A couple of teachers, assholes, didn't want to round up. She had like 89.8. You know what I'm saying? You want to give her the .2. You know what I'm saying? But she still had a 4.0.
Just give us the addresses, man. We'll make some visits.
Oh, you know.
It's too late now, right?
Where's she going to high school?
HF, Homo Floss one.
Okay, no
Nice.
doubt.
Oh, wait. That's where Tyler goes.
Nice.
Really?
Yeah, Tyler goes to Homer Flossman. He's going into his senior year.
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah. My son is
Look at this. We're gonna have kids in high school together. That's wild.
like it's crazy. My son Tyler is a videographer. He's done like 3 videos. He got like a little short movie out.
He's nice with it too.
Right. Yeah. He's really bugging me like, yo, I need to be at Hyde Park Summerfest. I can record and I can just like chop it. I'm like, we'll talk about that, man. We'll see what we can do for you, man. But he's excited. I started a new job this week.
Congrats, Pop. Congrats.
You know what I'm saying?
Get yourself a hand clap.
You know, I mean, I forgot that shit last time, didn't I? I forgot that. I forgot it last time. But so I didn't work 50 hours in the past 3 days, and I still got to go back for the next 2 days. I'm the new beverage manager for alcohol at Wintrust Arena and McCormick Place when we have the convention.
Dope. Congrats.
So
man.
you know what I'm saying?
Congrats.
No more two job.
Congrats.
But this convention is weird because this convention we got now are, at 2 a.m. you hear all those drugs that has those weird ass side effects. Like you might lose.
This can cause suicidal thoughts.
Yeah, you can lose an eyeball.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So this is like all doctors from all over the world, all presidents and generals, they come here to see and hear about these new drugs.
Wait a minute. When you said, do you know them drugs with all the side effects? I'm like, what is he wearing? Where you going with this?
you
like, so this is like a pharmaceutical.
It's a pharmaceutical thing.
So
like
you was talking about some weed or something.
Right. Nah. It's when you fall asleep on the couch at 2 a.m. and you wake up and you just hear this random ass commercial.
No,
with all
ain't
these
that. You got people skipping across the field, celebrating next
Right,
to them. And the side effects are you could die.
Right. Basically, side effects are instant death.
Right, you're like, bro, I just got insomnia. Like, why do I have to lose an eyeball?
No, it's crazy because I've seen it was a drug for depression, antidepressant that could give you suicidal thoughts. I was like, how does that work? How are you not depressed but still want to kill yourself?
Man, I think if we start really talking about that's a rabbit hole for a rabbit
hole.
Joy.
Because today was one of those days when I was about to clock out. The convention was over, but we was in the hall and security was walking up like, "Who are you with? Why are you here?"
I was about to say you may not say too much. It might be a black cop waiting for you outside.
And I was like, "We work here. Like, what's going on?" He's like, "The only reason why because these are new drugs that are coming out that haven't even hit the market yet.
Right.
That they trying it. So we're very secure on like." Can't take no pictures, no videos, none of that shit. I'm like,
cool. I don't want to steal your drug that makes my nose fall off.
Right.
I don't want to steal that drug.
Yeah. I don't want to be the guinea pig to find out how that works.
Have that.
I really don't.
So the thing is, when they have those side effects, somebody has experienced these. Several people, because they tested it on people.
They do.
Yeah.
So somebody lost their eye, somebody killed themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Testicles shrunk up.
Right. Somebody's foot that fell off.
That's one of them times you would have wished you got the placebo.
Right.
That's right.
Placebo guy.
Yeah.
Oh man. So we was talking about like podcasting, right? And the past 2 or 3 years has been a real big boom in Chicago. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to all the Chicago podcasts out here. My guys, Corner Convo.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? A Lot Podcast. My man Javen from Chatham Kids. You already know what it is.
Urban 2.
It's a lot of dope podcasts out. But Dave, you and Zoe was one of the first ones to jump on that wagon way before anybody else, by like 2 or 3 years ago.
No, that was long.
Yeah, that was
longer than that, right? That was before
5-6 years ago.
Yeah, that was like 2017, 2018 or something like that.
Yeah, longer than that. Damn, I forgot what it was called exactly. Damn, the brain fire. But it was needed. Just like me being myself, Zoe being Zoe. The relationships that we have, influence we have, we just wanted to have real conversations, talk about culture, talk about fashion and things like that with from our perspectives and to be able to call real people. You know what I'm saying? We've had the Clarks, the Emrys on the phones, the mayors, and everybody who was definitely relevant at the time and is still relevant today early just on the phone. You know what I'm saying? And having real conversations. It was a good thing. It just didn't work where we were. Like we were at the church right here on King Drive. I forgot Leon Finley. What that church is?
Metropolitan Apostolic or something like that.
Down there, and he
on
had
41st, he had the building next to it.
Yeah,
it
had the building
podcast
next to
studios and stuff.
Yeah, so it was going great, but then sometimes we'll have, because it was like a live talk show type thing or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Probably we'll have a couple of thousand people live, and then they'll just go dead.
Oh wow!
You know what I'm saying? So imagine we talking, then my phone blowing up, Zoe's phone is blowing up. We had Broadway was on there too doing live mixes. Autumn was with this tour or whatever. But we'll have all these people on there, and then they'll just go dead. Or we'll be doing a show, and it was supposed to be live, or it was supposed to be something, and it was just a million technical difficulties.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that couldn't just be fixed at the time or whatever. So that just kind of just hurt us to kind of, we just kind of walked away from it and just kept on going and things like that. But it was a great run, man. It was a great run.
Man, and thinking back to the old school days with that, Hyde Park Beer Fest, that was original.
Brew Fest.
Brew Fest.
Yep.
Speaking of, before you go further, can you bring up Fader number 4 for me, brother, please?
Yes, right.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate that.
Okay.
Appreciate that. There we go. All right.
And I remember the first Hyde Park Brew Fest was on 55th
In Kenwood. Yep.
Small little
street
spot.
from the
Hyde
Hyde
Park
Park
Neighborhood Club.
Yeah.
And to see it grow, how does that make you feel, like, to watch something like as a baby grow? Because like both of you guys are great entrepreneurs. Like, you got the Fly Clothing brand, you got the liquor store, you got all this other stuff going on, and this Hyde Park Brew Fest, for it to, both of these things to start at a baby and to grow into like worldwide, like people, like this was like the media for this was crazy, like Vibe, New York Times.
Yeah. It's
like,
huge. It's been
like,
huge.
So explain to us, like, how do you get here?
Yeah, it's overwhelming, man. I mean, especially looking back over the past week, you see the memories pop up from previous years.
Yeah.
And you start looking at the crowds and the pictures and stuff like that. In particular, the ones that get me are the stage shots, right? So there's views of the stage, right? When we had, like, what was that band? Sidewalk Chalk or something like that. Coming up doing their thing. And then
Harper's Court.
No, this is before that. This is in the parking lot.
Oh, this
Yeah, we had.
I remember that.
55th Street, 55th Street, right?
Yeah.
So you see that, and then you see pictures of the one picture popped up, D Nice, when he was there before club quarantine, right?
Right,
You see
yeah,
the whole
yeah.
picture of the street, and you just stand, oh man, God's been really good to us, and the community's been real good to us, and they've supported what we've done,
the other
man.
day too, and not to cut you off,
go
just to
ahead.
add on, but just like a clip of Biz popped up on my joint. In memory. So God rest in peace to Biz Markie.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Peace to Biz Markie.
And then the joint, I saw the joint recently with when Ryan Fest was there.
Okay.
When he popped up and did that freestyle,
and did
right?
the freestyle and
yeah,
stuff like
man.
that. But like,
I mean, that was just like just watch it over and over, like wow.
There's
You know what
so
I mean?
many great
Wow.
memories with
Man, I got a lot of great memories, stuff I can't talk about on camera. I got so many great memories.
Yeah.
So was that always part of the vision when you just started it, or was it just like, did you just want to put something on and it just kind of grew unexpectedly?
Man, for me, the way it really started was I got involved in the liquor store. Craft beer was a big thing, right?
Right.
And so we wanted to expand our business, and I'm a community guy, so we wanted to connect it to community. Started going to Beer Fest on the north side, man. I see customers from the south side. I'm like, wait a second, hold on. Y'all come all the way up here to go to a beer fest? Why? Well, because we ain't got none out our way. So you start thinking about it. We really didn't have that kind of same, street festival vibe on the south side of Chicago.
Right.
So, excuse me. So the idea was just, man, why don't we just start doing that, right? So we started doing a little bit with this other festival, the University of Chicago, learning and trying it out, and then all of a sudden, when we would have some challenges with that, and so we just called the first one as a part of their fest, the Hyde Park Brew Fest, right? And then it kicked off, brought Dave on to help kind of expand, add the musical, the vibe, the culture to kind of underpin it. It really was just trying to see what's happening, man. And so then in talking with Dave, when Dave and I have known each other for a long time, right? But when we connected around this, he began to say, hey, look, man, and we can do some other things with this, and began to stretch my vision and help me see some things about what we could do, right? And so then when we were at 55th Street, neighbors started having some challenges, and that's when Harper Court got finished. So it was like, all right, well, we'll just pivot and take it to Harper Court, and then all of a sudden, bam, it just took off, right?
On a whole other
Just
level.
a whole nother thing, because think about it, man. Up to that point, you had the Silver Room Block Party up north, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so they had their thing until before they moved south, because we both moved to Harper Court the same year. But other than that, you had the Chosen Few Picnic in the park.
Yeah.
Yep.
You had the African Fest.
Yeah.
in Washington Park.
But we did not have a street festival on the south side.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah.
Right?
You didn't.
And so this was really the Hyde Park Brew Fest was really the first Southside born street festival.
And you that alone birthed a lot of other Southside street festivals.
Yeah,
Like you
yeah.
had the street festival in South Shore, and then you had Inglewood Festival pop up.
You got a lot of them, man. You had stuff on 79th Street that happened last year.
Yeah, because now we had their Juneteenth fest.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, no,
right at the Woodlawn, right?
Yeah, Inglewood. I mean, actually, to be fair, there was that one they did, the 79th Street Renaissance Fest. That probably was the first one.
Yeah,
right?
the Renaissance. That's what I was thinking about. Renaissance
Fest.
Fest.
Folks, my friends over, Carlos Nelson over there in Auburn Gresham. Yeah. But really, there weren't a lot of that, and that was more of kind of a seniors fest, kind of a gospel fest.
Right.
You know, we got chairs in the street. It wasn't that kind of flow.
We weren't kicking it like that
exactly.
at the Renaissance Fest. It wasn't.
It wasn't that same thing.
Completely different ballgame.
You was Kirk Franklin out.
Yeah. We fall down. No, we wasn't on that at the Brew Fest. People was falling down. You know what I'm saying?
But man, the Brew Fest, it's just all the memories has come from it. And even with Dave, with when we had Harper's Court originally, your store.
The fly block party.
Right. Yeah, the block parties, yeah.
So it kind of took it back to those, it brought both of those together. Because when we first got to Hyde Park, Harper's Court, I was just like, oh, this is crazy.
So we've arrived.
We have arrived. The Harper's Court is going all the way through. People coming. And Hyde Park is always known for culture.
Yeah.
You know, you had the Tonys, you had Fly, you even had my man spot, the little dress spot with he had the Eddie Monster joint. Oh my God, he was right next door to the original Leaders.
Okay.
And he had you know what I'm talking.
Steve.
And I'm sorry for giving you the Eddie Monster joint.
Steve.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
You know,
the Widow's Peak you took.
Age. You know, when you get older, your hairline just kind of.
No, but he had all the fresh gear, like the design type stuff, like shoes and everything like that. He was doing his own. I remember that.
Right, and then your business, the KImbark Liquors, y'all been in Hyde Park for how long?
Since the business has been there since '63. Been associated with my family since 1974.
Wow.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Long time.
Black-owned liquor store, man. Y'all better go.
It's so funny when you be like, yeah, man, 19. That just seems so long ago. When you said
man, right?
19 anything. We sitting here 2023.
You're knocking on 50 years, man.
Right.
You're knocking on 50 years,
right?
Yeah, it's been there a long time. And actually, it's funny because there used to be more black-owned liquor stores back then. They went down, then we were like the only one, and now you're starting to see a resurgence of a few more. You got some out in the south suburbs. Right. You got one on 80-something in Racine. You got one on 79th Street. You got some on the west side. So you're starting to see a resurgence of those now.
Was Kenwood Liquors ever?
No, Kenwood was owned by a family.
They never opened back up, did they?
No. Not on the Stony Island store. They always had the Oak Lawn store.
Right.
And then one of the sons that managed the one on Stony Island, he wouldn't open up a store in Homer Glen. So after all the stuff, the George Floyd stuff happened, they never reopened, and they tried to sell it, and
it just didn't make sense.
The deal did not make sense.
Right?
They said that way. That's why I tried to buy it, but the deal did not make sense.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's crazy because Kenwood Liquors was an institution for a long time over there on Stony Island.
I mean, it was known. That was the thing, right? Kenwood was the low price leader. They took all cash, right? I mean, you'd hear stories, man, in the business how so and so you might buy a truckload of beer, they'll buy a train load of beer. Getting beer deliveries every single day.
Yeah, they had the cheapest liquor in there. Like for real, like you can get a bottle, a fifth of Hennessy for like $18.95.
And it was a task getting in and out of the park.
It absolutely was. It absolutely was.
Especially on a Friday.
Oh man,
exactly. Stony Island, right?
Yeah. You had to get there early. You had to get there early.
I used to park on Stony. Like I'm not going in the park.
Like down a little bit that library and kind of walk back.
Yeah.
It was like. Is that a library?
So wait, so you didn't shop?
It was a library.
Wait, you didn't shop at KImbark all the time?
Enough of times.
Okay, I just want to check that. You knew that too intimately, okay?
And Gills.
Oh, well, Gills. Now,
Gills.
The first craft beer store.
Right.
Gills on 47th Street.
I forgot.
I ain't gonna lie. I used to go to Kenwood like on dry days, like on Friday nights, like if I ain't had no plans, like because you'll bump into some chicks, car full of chicks, and be like
on Stony,
and be like. Oh, this is my plan. What y'all on?
Hey man, the possibilities were endless over there, bro.
Endless.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it was crazy because so much has changed over there. Because like the dating game is closed.
Yep.
It's damn.
What was it? Family Day always getting one of them.
The den is still open. The dating game's closed.
The dating game is closed. The den is still open.
Yeah, the owner of dating game passed away. Brother Moselle Barnes. He's a businessman, man, an old-time businessman, man. That controlled a lot of property over there.
Condolences.
And he passed away a couple years ago.
Okay.
Maybe a year ago, something like that.
Man,
I didn't know that's why they closed.
I mean, that may be why it closed, but I know he was the owner of the Dayton game, and he owned a lot of property in the area. Man, he just a guy come up from the South, man. Just knew how to do business, man. Just knew how to do business.
Yeah. Speaking of businesses, like, what do you guys got coming up with? Like any other outside businesses y'all got going on? Because I know Dave, we talked about last episode. You got a book situation. You got shoes coming out.
Yeah, just building pop like in this and me being around and you know how culture goes pop, like you have to constantly reinvent yourself to just keep moving, you know what I'm saying? And so not reinventing myself like just so much personally, but the brand. So like Fly is my baby, you know what I'm saying? Fly is my baby. Is always gonna be that. It's on autopilot. You know what I'm saying? It's online. Drop new stuff. Stuff sells out. Boom, boom, boom. Whatever. Alpha Space is becoming autopilot because I'm not there as much with that. And I'm sure Swain agreed. It's like it's as long as it pays for itself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then as you pay for it, as it pays for itself, then you can build and then that becomes profitable and you can move on in other things. I partnered with a great friend of mine. His name is Mello. We all know him as Mello, whatever. And we remastered this shoe, this boot rather. It's our version of a Clark Wallaby, right?
Okay.
So everything that you would want in a Clark, we just did it. Everything that we thought like, damn, like this should be higher, this tongue should be like this or whatever, we did it. Okay. And so that was a lesson and has been a lesson in just production itself. You know what I'm saying? Shoes aren't clothes, so
right.
it was a learning curve there. But even dealing with factories overseas, so the language barrier is a thing. So like, went over there, got with some great people to get us directly where we needed to be. Stayed there for like 4 or 5 days. Did what we did, in it, and we should have stayed there. We should have stayed and finalized what we needed to finalize, opposed to coming home and then trying to play Zoom and Google Meets and waiting on samples and whatever, and all of money that we've probably spent on waiting on samples and shipping, whatever like this. We probably could have stayed another 2 weeks there
and knocked
had
everything
that we needed done there. And then just waited on production time. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But this being a new project, the project is now 6 months behind, which is cool, because it's all supposed to happen when it's supposed to happen in it or whatever. So we're 99.8% there. Like, honestly, I was supposed to be on a plane today to Italy, but just because we have fest stuff going on, I have other stuff that I need to be here for. Like, if I didn't leave today, because I have to be here, definitely for something. My niece's graduation is Wednesday.
Right.
Things we have fest stuff. A whole bunch of
Everything.
stuff going on.
Yeah, obligations.
So
yeah.
my trip was definitely gonna be there. Factory. Okay, this is good. All right, boom, we out. But I had to leave today, and it just didn't happen today like it needed to do. So it probably won't happen until July. But I mean things like that. Other brands that I've dealt with, like the Two First Names brand. So this is the book stuff that I've been writing and documenting my whole thing. So you'll see that in a book form. You'll see that in some type of visual form too, or whatever. But Two First Names. So my name being Dave Jeff, everybody doesn't really believe my last name is Jeff. Jeff is my last name, and so it's just been it has been like that for building that vision and just laying all of the right foundation of it, whatever. So that's a constant thing, Pop. That's a constant thing.
And what else you got going on outside of everything? You ran for office last year?
Yeah, after I ran for office, man, I started cutting stuff back. Because I realized, as I had time to process and think, right? Because see, what happened, I ran for office on the heels of having a lot of loss in my life, right? So starting in 2019, my mother passed away. 2020, my dad passed away. 2021, my mother-in-law passed away. So in 22 months, I lost 3 parents, right? And so then after that, so my mother-in-law passed away Labor Day at 21, all the way to January when we started running for office. So there was a lot of things compressed there. Once the election was over, got a chance to really think. And decided, man, that I was going to pare a lot of stuff back and then, focus on just a couple things and go deeper in those, right? Because you get to a point in life and you start thinking about, look, if I live to be my father's age when he passed, I'm already more than half gone, right? So you only have so much time to do the things you need to do. And while I enjoyed a lot of the different things I did that made me who I am and brought me to this moment, it's time to dive deeper. So what I've been basically over the past year been doing is just focusing on the fest and really trying to make the fest into a national brand, kind of a national. Kind of a national go-to for folks, right? Especially in the Midwest, because in the Midwest, I mean, you think about festivals around the country. You always think about Coachella. You always think about Lollapalooza.
Yep.
Right?
Rolling Loud.
Okay, Rolling Loud. You think about, One Music Fest for Black folks in Atlanta.
Yeah,
you
Essence.
think about Essence, Broccoli City. With the exception, all of them started like in an infancy like us. We think about Coachella right now, but Coachella was started by some people folks and then got bought by AEG. Right. Lollapalooza was started by what's his name, Perry, the artist. Somebody, but three guys, and it grew and got bought by Live Nation, right? Okay. So when you think about where we started, we're just trying to build that and trying to really focus on making it something like you said, where people now are coming and flying from around the country. I mean, we thought of it was big back when the Brew Fest, when Dave would say, "Yo, man, my phone was blowing up." They're like, "What the hell y'all doing in Chicago, right? Mm-hmm. What is this thing you're doing in Chicago?" Now it's like, "Oh, we know what y'all doing in Chicago. Yeah. Let's come here because at the end of the day, man,
I'm planning my summer
around.
I'm planning flights. What day is it this year, guys? What day
exactly.
is it?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. It was actually mentioned on the Joe Budden podcast for a few seconds by Ish. He was like, it's a festival going on in Chicago that's real big, but he was like, we need more details about it. And they just skip past it. Like, you know what I'm saying? They ain't really go dive deep in. But like, with this exposure going on, you guys got 3 stages this year?
Yeah, man. Yeah. It's something different. I mean, we always talked about the fest being kind of the one stage. I mean, one of the things about the Brew Fest was you had the one stage, and then you had the remote speakers, right? So when you walked into the space, you Dave be on stage talking about Chicago in the house. No matter where you were a part of that experience, right? Right. What we realized, man, is you build a music fest, it's got to be a little different. It can't be a concert feel, but we want to build a festival feel. So we start sowing the seeds of what that would be like as we grow. So that we can, bring more artists, more acts. And probably the big thing was, I think, and Dave would hear this a lot, especially last year, local folks, local talent wanted to get the stage. But there's only so much time, and when you think about the production sets and having to change the production sets and change the layouts and change all that stuff, you just don't have time. So you got to add stages to be able to create more time for folks who want to get on the thing. And so that's part of why we made that switch.
So I want to ask y'all, just to piggyback off a little bit, so obviously last year was the first year y'all pivoted to the actual Summerfest from the Brew Fest, which is much different in terms of like the artists, the people you guys are bringing on, the whole festival feel, a much larger space, different space. So I'm sure there were a lot of lessons learned. Right?
So
hey, salud.
Yeah, so I know stuff that I saw like day 1 and day 2. Oh, okay, yeah, they fixed that. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to
what did you see that we fixed?
I would say the first day we came in, the next day they were checking for people bringing in certain things. You know what I'm saying? Like what people, you were kind of like walking in and nobody was really caring. The next day it was just like, hey, no, bro, we need to see what you got up in there. You know what I'm saying?
So security, right?
Security, yeah. So
we fixed that a little more too, right?
We got G.I. Joe this year.
And
so don't play. Yeah. I'm just putting that out there.
And when I say certain things,
G.I. Joe and his squad is there. Believe that.
Right. And when I say certain things, it definitely had nothing to do with anything violent, anything like that.
No. Say what it is. People were sneaking their drink in.
Oh, absolutely.
That's what it was.
Look, I had a dude, swear to God, 3 weeks ago, he was like, I'm going to go. He like, nigga, whoever on Facebook, I'm putting you on blast, motherfucker. Do not be easily offended.
Hold on, let me guess. He going to go out there early, dig a hole, put his drink
in.
So he can go dig a hole and get it back out.
Bro, that's too much, B.
Yep. He's like, man, fuck that. I'm finna go out there, dig me a couple of holes for my fifths, pinpoint them, take pictures of them, buy my ticket, and when I get in there, I'm going to just find the spot and just pull them
So
shit
check
out.
it out.
Wow.
If I already knew that was the game, that means I got to solve for it, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Hey,
busted.
And it's so wild that you would do all that. Like, you really going to go out there and dig a hole, B?
Like, hey, man.
Just stay home.
So world. the drinks that we have are not that expensive.
It's not.
That you have to go out there prior, get dirty, dig a hole, mask your shit, bag your shit, do whatever you have to do to keep it sanitized. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to do that.
And how do you know it's not going to be a booth right there? Like,
Right.
you get there, it's going to be a whole structure.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And now
Over
you
your
back.
fucking hole.
So we gonna be in the Chicago market popping, just see a nigga just walking back, pacing all the time. Like, hey man, what's up with
Right.
Boogie? What's up
He
with
trying to
Boogie?
crawl underneath the stage.
Wait,
and
he
shit.
waiting for us to move.
Right.
Waiting for the opportune time.
Like,
to
nigga,
come
why
in
you
and
got a
dig
shovel?
hole.
Why you so
Stop it.
dirty, bro? What the fuck happened to you?
Stop it.
Oh man.
But outside of that, like logistically, I'm
Yeah.
sure there were a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? In terms like it's bigger this year. You guys got more acts, bigger acts.
Yeah.
Yep.
So like outside of like the different stages, like what else is different? What else has changed? What can people expect this year that they didn't see last year?
One thing I can say, and somebody just brought this up too yesterday. Once again, phone blowing up every day about it or whatever. We missed the hydrating point.
Right.
We had hydrating points, but didn't have nearly enough for the people in that.
Yeah.
That's solved.
Okay.
Yeah, we got water trucks coming.
Yeah,
Nice.
water
People-
trucks.
so water trucks, so you can go up and we're gonna sell water, right? For those that want to buy bottled water, whatever. But we and we got a sponsor. Shout out to Open Waters, who's our sponsor locally here in Chicago.
Nice.
But we're also gonna have water dispensaries, whatever. So you can go just take a bottle, whatever, and fill up. Because the hydration piece was a key piece that we because again, moving from 53rd Street where you can just go into a store, go to a restaurant, whatever.
Right.
Now everything's self-contained.
Right.
You got to be thinking about things a little differently. So yeah.
And people were just pulling up on 53rd with coolers, and you had water. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
It was a completely different ball game.
Yeah.
And then you got people out there all day. Like last year, I worked the festival, so I was there like at 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning, and watching people line up with their chairs, like ready to chill the whole day.
Right.
Like the whole day. You're talking about 12 hours. You just out there. But that's the type of vibe that I've always loved about the fest, is because you can really come all day and relax and see your crush you had in 5th grade, or see somebody you graduated college with that you ain't seen in forever.
It's definitely
Like,
a reunion.
Oh, yeah.
It's
definitely a reunion.
Yeah.
You may find that stalker that was Instagram page is like, you ain't gonna never call me back. Like, you know what I'm saying? But it was always a good vibe. I mean, like I said, I've always had great times there, man. I love
Nothing
great
but good memories.
But let me hit on a couple other changes I think that are significant, right?
Yeah, what other changes?
So second day we had long lines at the front entrance, right? And so we refigured those. And so now, where we had just only a few metal detectors to let folks in, we have basically 5 times the number of metal detectors for the entrance.
Nice.
So we can get people in, which means we're going to be able to take our time making sure folks are safe and ain't coming in and, and all that kind of stuff.
Not the extended lines. Like,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hopefully, yeah, exactly. Hopefully.
Well, it's the extended lines because the whole city is going to come.
Right.
And the whole city, the whole Midwest.
Yes.
Exactly, right.
Like,
Yeah. And speaking of the city, you talked about local acts earlier. Y'all doing the Chicago 50.
Oh, yeah.
They're here too.
Yeah.
So talk about that, because it's like, so what made y'all want to do that?
So it came like if y'all noticed the last couple of Brew Fest on 53rd,
Yeah.
I did this hip hop and Hyde Park thing, and so like did it. I think 1 year it was me and Ella, then it was me, Ella, Moose.
Yep.
Then me and Moose did it 1 year with a live band, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, and that whole thing. Then when we saw the Grammys and Chicago got snubbed. We got snubbed. There was no Chicago representation in that or whatever. And I just say openly, like, no diss to that, because even finding out exactly kind of what happened in that thing, a lot of us Chicago prominent people were reached out to and couldn't do it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it wasn't like they just dissed
Filming
us.
out the country.
Yeah,
that kind of
it
stuff.
wasn't like they just dissed us. So I'm not saying that. But Swain just put like, well, I brought it up. He thought it was a great idea, and we just worked it out. The team worked it out. We were able to get the 96 tour, which is Shauna, Crucial Conflict, Do or Die, and Twister. And so my vision of it was, so if you think about it, so I'm going to be LL in it if you saw the Grammys.
Right.
Questlove was the director, basically. So that's going to Mustafa is the director. So it's going to be Moose is the DJ, and so I'm gonna be the crossfader. And bring everyone out at their times, whatever. And then we're going to end with our young gun, which is Vic Mensa.
Okay.
I fucks with Vic, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to Vic Mensa. I really appreciate all the things that he's doing in the community with the homeless people, with the mental health situation.
And he's from Hyde Park too.
And he's from Hyde Park.
And
the fact that he cleaned himself up. Like he was on an interview on another show, and he was like, "Yo, I had to stop drinking.
Yeah.
I started working out, stopped smoking so much.
Yeah.
Really got focused, meditation." He got into boxing. I just saw the other day on somebody's Instagram. Like he really started to change up his whole situation.
Him and Perk was going at it on some little sparring or whatever.
Definitely. I really fucks with him on that, man.
Yeah, the stuff he's been doing with Chance, the thing in Ghana,
the Black Star
Festival.
Black Star
Festival. Yeah, for sure.
Crazy.
Great brother,
That's
man.
crazy.
Great brother. Hyde Park song.
So
all day. So that's what that's gonna be. So that's gonna be 75 minutes of us.
Nice.
All right. So next year, we're not ending the conversation, but next year, can y'all please bring Common in? I just want him to do.
Pop, definitely.
We reached out.
I know.
We reached out.
We definitely reached out.
I know.
See, here's the thing. A lot of folks, man. Sometimes, especially with a lot of our hip hop artists, man, they're actors, right? And so they don't have control over their filming schedules.
Right.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
that's true.
saying? And so he's a prominent actor now, right? And
Yeah,
he is.
So sometimes it just becomes a scheduling conflict, and we always make the outreach, right? And if folks are available, then they're available, and all that stuff.
And a lot of people, recently I've been preparing for this interview and watching other platforms, and they talk about the fest, right? And how hard it is. Like Ebro was like, bro, our fest can end, and 2 weeks after that, we can put our number in to that artist, and they be like, oh, well, we'll get back to you. You know what I'm saying? Because it's you know what I'm saying? He we're Hot 97. You gonna get back to us for Summer Jam? Really?
Yeah.
And he's like, bro,
you have no idea.
Since Live Nation has stepped in the realm, you know what I'm saying,
right.
and took up everything, and
about
then your 90-day, 90-mile radius type situation.
So see, okay, we speaking on it like this. I disagree with that 1,000, 1,000,000%. I had a long conversation with this about with this Fatine from Kindred the Family Soul. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I don't agree with that and that's just me being a host, being in 50 zillion venues, and me knowing people. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Knowing people. I'm gonna see who I want to see. I'm happy that they're here in the area, right?
Right.
But I might not like the venue that they're in, so I'm not going to see them at this venue because I don't even want to stand up, I don't want to sit down on the grass, or it's going to be a box in there or whatever, right? So if they're at that venue Monday, June 1st or whatever, and they have the opportunity to be at this venue June 20th, to me, one thing has nothing to do with the other, because I really honestly think there's a lot of people that think just like that. You're going to see the person when you want to see the person. You're going to buy the ticket if you want to buy the ticket or whatever, but it's a lot of times I won't go to see them there because I hate the venue. But I love this venue, but do I love Hyde Park Summerfest venue? Oh, hell yeah, because it's a family reunion. It's this, it's that. It's going to be all these things added on top, but I didn't want to see him at Ravinia. That's just me. But it's the nature of the business.
Right, and I look at it the opposite way, right? Because if you're making, because these artists aren't inexpensive, right? And so if you're making a significant investment in the artists and guarantees and all this kind of stuff, you want to make sure that dollar's protected. And so those radius clauses in a great way help you protect those dollars, right? Now, that doesn't mean you have to be rigid about it. You know what I'm saying? We folks have come to us and we've had some flexibility on different things like that, man. But there's two different ways of looking at it. Just depends on your perspective, right?
Yeah, just at the time, right?
Because I was looking at it God damn. Because even when y'all announced it, right? And middle finger up to all you people that inboxed me in the past 2 weeks.
Jeez.
Man, why the tickets so high? I told your ass January 1st. Tickets was $89.99.
How much were they popping? January 1st?
$89.99.
It was December. It was December for 2 days.
Wait. December.
2 days.
For 2 days.
2 days.
2 days.
I posted it up on my Facebook, my TikTok, my Twitter, my Snapchat. everything, every platform, and then y'all motherfuckers want to hit me at the 2 weeks. Man, why they so high? Hey, look.
But let me
sorry for you.
But let me say this though, right? Let me say this. A couple things, right?
Wait, hold up. Before you say that,
Yeah.
even we on the episode we talked installment plans.
Installments.
Oh yeah.
They had installment plans for this
We
shit,
had
bro.
layaway.
Yeah.
Right.
Listen,
Sorry,
man,
man, to cut you off.
I'm not gonna cast any aspersion on folks because it's their money they choose to
It's
spend
their
their money.
bread. It's
That's
their
true.
money.
Can't count nobody else's money for them.
And to be fair, you know, the big question was, all right, y'all did that last year. What y'all gonna do this year? Because we had not established ourselves like a Coachella or a Lala. All they got to say is, here are the dates. Because they have the track record and history of bringing talent,
Right, yeah.
folks are like, all right, I'm in, right? And there are other festivals can do that now.
Bonnaroo, all
right.
that, yeah.
Even one music fest now is at that level, right? Where it can just basically say, here are our dates, and people will buy the tickets.
Tickets are
Look,
now.
we weren't at that level yet, and we recognize that, even though we wanted to provide an opportunity. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm cool. We're cool with that. But the other side of it is that we recognize who our consumer is, and so we price the festival to be to be actually cheaper than most festivals, right?
Way cheaper.
Cheaper because I was going to Swain Yost. I went to Swain Yost the other day, right? The Latin Reggaeton Festival in Grand Park.
Yeah.
So I'm on my way, and I said, let me look up what a single day ticket is on my way day of for a single day GA. Okay,
Right.
guess how much it was?
How much?
100 and something.
No, with fees, $280 for a single day GA
For one day.
for one day.
Wow.
Okay.
And that's the
Right.
second. That's the second one.
Right, and that's the second one. So I guess the point I'm making is look, you know, the great thing about a podcast, you can talk about a little bit more, right?
Yep.
The fact is that you know I know people appreciate the Brew Fest because it was free.
Right.
I get it, right?
Right.
But there was cost associated with it, okay?
Exactly.
And to do what we're doing at the level we're doing it, there are costs associated with it. So for us to continue to do that, there has to be revenue to be able to do that, right?
Yeah.
And so as such, we want to be thoughtful about how we price it. And we price it the way we thought was competitive and that was accessible to our consumer. And that's why we had the layers. That's why we had the levels. That's why we had all the stuff to provide opportunity for folks to jump in. So
And just speaking on that part, we have multiple talent that's six figures, multiple acts that are all six figures.
Yeah.
So do the math.
This is
I'm
almost a
just
$1 million
saying,
festival, or even more.
But I'm just saying, just do the math in that. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? In that, and then to speak on what you were just saying, like about getting to the artist and the example to the Ebro thing or whatever.
Yeah.
Pop, we went through all of that, bro. All of that.
Yeah.
Had the deal. Didn't have the deal on Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? Oh, okay. No, it's guaranteed. Boom.
And the thing too is in Chicago, people, you know, black folks talk about Lala, but we don't go to Lala.
Yeah.
No, we
we
don't.
talk about Pitchfork.
That's just what we know.
We don't go to Pitchfork, right?
Right.
As you go to New York, you go to Atlanta, black folks are festivaled out. You got to talk to folks in New York and Atlanta and tell them, here's what we're doing. They're like, oh, okay. All we're doing is we're learning as a community how we festival, how we go to festivals, and it's just a growth experience, man. As we continue to grow, community's gonna grow with us. That hopefully they'll continue to support us, and we'll all get a handle on this, man. You know, as we move forward.
I really think moving forward, I think y'all really are going to be as big as Lollapalooza because it just gets bigger and bigger every year.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
I mean,
like,
even when you're looking from the growth you look at last year's lineup to year 2, it's just like, I mean,
It's different, and it's different, and even in a year where everybody's touring.
yeah,
Right. I mean, that's the other. I mean, look. I'm grateful for the connects to get the clips and all that because look, I'm the logistical, political kind of business guy, right?
I'm glad he said that.
I am. I'm right. So you know,
He owns it.
I'm very clear about my role in my lane, right? But we're grateful to get Little Kim, to get the clips, to get Robert Glasper, who just won a Grammy, right?
Robert fucking
Okay.
Glasper. Oh,
Okay,
Yeah.
with Layla Hathaway, right? Who's
With Layla Hathaway?
Yes, sir.
Oh, you didn't hear about that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Special guest Layla Hathaway.
Special guest,
Yes,
Pop.
sir.
With Robert
Special
Glasper.
guest. Yeah. Now, why did you do that? Why did you do that, Boogie? Why did you do that?
because that's what Layla Hathaway voice make you want to do.
Yeah.
Man, she can sing her ass off, boy.
Pop, I've had a crush on Layla Hathaway since them dead days. I'm telling you.
Hey,
Not
and
even
she
that.
definitely is fine.
And not even that. I just her whole
Aura.
her thing, her aura, her
Yeah.
voice,
Yeah.
all that,
Aura.
whatever.
It's just her music soothes you.
Absolutely.
Like I've played the past 3 days. That's what I get in the
Hey,
car. That's
hey,
what
on
I've
that
been
Black
playing.
radio, that Layla Hathaway,
Right.
Cherish
Black-
Today.
Cherish
Cherish Today.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, my Lord.
So okay, in my fest shapeness, right? And I've been riding my bike, so I listen.
You see my bike over there. I'm ready to roll. Hit me up any morning.
no problem. So Swain put me up on Gregory Porter, right?
Yeah.
So if y'all not up on Gregory Porter, you need to get up on Gregory
Hey, man,
Porter.
he's a beast.
So I ride to. So it just depends the energy I have that day, right? But I ride to his station on Pandora, right? Pop, I'm riding one time, and so Layla Hathaway has this song on something live or whatever. Pop, she hits this run for like a minute. Where she's just I can't Layla Hathaway, but I'm sitting there, I'm riding, I'm like, damn, she's still going. She's just, like as I'm riding, she making me go, whatever. And to the point I had to go back and kind of like find what this was, just to find it out or whatever. But I rocks with her on that. I rocks with her. Period.
I mean, I really like Toby.
Yeah. I told you
Last
I'm not
name.
going to try to pronounce his last name, bro. Y'all know what the fuck it is. Toby.
Toby.
Nigga with the beard that wear the mint shit.
The one that says try Jesus.
The family
Yeah.
man.
Yeah,
The
family
man.
yeah,
The great family man.
Exactly.
Don't try me.
The great family man. Yeah.
Hey, look.
Yeah, always got his kids, his wife with him, all his people.
I-
And
yeah.
look, and they all coming on Father's Day, man. He does a phenomenal show.
Yeah, I've heard.
Phenomenal show.
I've heard.
I'm very excited for that. That's like one artist that I'm very excited about. I'm anxious to see the new one, Lola Brooke. Because I really fucks with her. I've seen her go from fucking freestyle after freestyle to video.
Don't play with it.
And she's only like 4'4". Like she's short as shit.
Don't play with it.
Hey, you know who y'all got this year that I'm really looking forward to that a lot of people sleep on?
Who?
Alex Isley.
Alex Isley,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely.
Alex
Yeah.
Isley,
Oh,
man.
Royalty.
She got the
has
vocals,
she's
man.
royalty, bro.
Oh, yeah, she got that in her blood. She got
Yeah,
that in
man.
her blood, yeah.
Yeah,
Wait,
absolutely.
who? That's Ron Isley's
Ernie
daughter?
Ernie Isley. That's Ernie
Isley.
Isley. One of the greatest guitar players. People don't give Ernie Isley his
Oh.
credit when it comes to playing that guitar, man. But that boy,
On that Versus, when he stepped out, it was like, you know what, let me just...
hey man, Ernie,
Let you know.
hey, he make magic with them strings, boy.
And
He can make a girl strip with those strings.
Okay.
I'm sure it's happened.
so I was about to pivot to Jonathan McReynolds, the gospel, since you're talking about making,
We're talking about stripping with guitars and strings.
you know, exactly. But no,
Perfect segue.
Good segue, right? But then you got Jonathan McReynolds gonna come open up Sunday for us, right?
Yeah.
And for the gospel, because again, we want to, like when it was the Brew Fest and we talked about all different types of beers. That's cool, right? So let's talk about all different types of music across the diaspora, right? So you got that. Then you got folks were asking who was Uncle Waffles. Right, everybody's like, "Who's Uncle Waffles? Who's Uncle Waffles?
Who is he?
It's actually a woman.
Who is
It's
he?
a woman,
DJ.
a South African DJ, man, who's been on the come up from art. She did Art Basel, she did Coachella, she did the Roots Fest on Saturday,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
She's doing our joint. I mean, she's on her way up.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I'm saying? Playing the South African was it? I'm a piano music, right? South African
which
house
kind of
music,
house music.
South
Yeah.
African house music, man.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
she gets behind the decks, man, and dances and all that
And
kind of
dances,
stuff.
yeah.
It's gonna be dope, man. It's gonna be real dope.
She puts you. She puts you in the mind. No CK.
Yeah.
She's a South African No CK, or they're both. You know
Also,
what
I
I'm
know
saying?
No
Cause
CK gonna be
cause
like, I need to be on stage with her.
Yeah, because No CK she goes in. And then we have Grammy nominated Terry Hunter, man.
Terry Hunter.
Oh yeah, Chicago's very own.
Bringing new music.
Talk about the house music influence on the world.
Bringing new music. Hey, shout out to Ferris too. Ferris hit me, man. Hey, Ferris, I got your text, but we talked about it. Hey, bro.
Hey.
we'll talk some up.
He hit me up. I'm like,
Hey,
I
man.
have nothing to do.
Right.
I'm just promoting it.
Right.
But yeah, man.
He asked me like, man, hey Pop, can I host, man? You know, so like I say, Pop, if I wasn't me, I wouldn't be hosting a part of or whatever and stuff like that. Just as it's growing and going in different directions and stuff like that to that. And so I was just trying to explain that to him what that vision was. But you know, me being me and it is what it is. I'm definitely gonna do the call out. So I'm gonna bring out my people, whatever like that. So you're gonna see that. But I won't be on the stage the whole time. Again, like in that, I'll be more moving around with the people's people.
So I got an important question.
What up?
You know, because the essence beginning was the beer. Mm-hmm. Y'all still had the beer garden last year. Mm-hmm. So is that still a part?
Mm-mm.
What happened?
Say, where did the beer go?
Right.
What happened to the IPA?
So we knew as we pivot a couple things. One, craft beer isn't what it was, right?
It's not.
Right. So back when we started, craft beer was on the rise up. Now it's not. It's not as much.
Yeah.
That's one. Two, we knew that we were going to have to pivot away from it.
Okay.
Right. And so last year was kind of an homage to our previous customers who came for the beer.
Gotcha.
Right?
So one last hurrah.
One last hurrah, right? Yeah. And then, but we still have an element of it, right? So Moore's beer is the official craft beer of the Hyde Park Summerfest.
Shout out to Moore's motherfucking beer.
Yeah, they've been on the come up.
Yeah, right.
Seriously.
So they'll be celebrating their second anniversary with their Emancipation Ball on the 16th. Right. So this weekend, Juneteenth weekend, is when they started 2 years ago.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So they're going to be at all the bars. We'll be selling more. They'll have an activation space that they're going to be putting some stuff together, man, for people to really come. And they'll be releasing their new pear pilsner.
Okay.
Right. They'll be released at the fest. So you'll still get that kind of craft beer connection but connected to our community and connected to some brothers from Hyde Park too. Yeah. Right. Damon's from Hyde Park.
Damon's from Hyde Park.
To do that, man. But it should evolve, right? I mean, we want to keep the elements that you can keep. You know, like the DJs are a key element of that.
Right.
So expanding stages allows us to add more DJs, different kinds of DJs and the like, man. But yeah, man, it's just the evolution. Just the evolution.
Man, I can't wait for it. Hey, Hyde Park Summerfest. Make sure y'all get y'all tickets. hydeparksummerfest.com.
Yeah.
Make sure y'all get those motherfucking tickets, man. It's just, it's the fucking festival. It's time. It's summertime. It's summertime.
Yeah, and that's the thing. So y'all have become kind of like the unofficial or official kickoff.
The kickoff
to Summertime Shot.
Yeah. And it's on Father's Day.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Juneteenth weekend, man. So many reasons to celebrate.
And it's been that because usually we've been
first weekend in June.
The first weekend in June.
First weekend in June.
Right.
Yeah. The first weekend in June.
But it just didn't happen that way this time.
Yeah, because we're on the midway, we got to be University of Chicago is our neighbor.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I mean, typically on 53rd you had a bunch of neighbors. You have one neighbor. The University of Chicago, right?
A massive neighbor.
A massive neighbor.
That's all that matters.
So you have they just had their commencement recently. So you have to. They asked what they asked for last time because we started building right after the commencement. They're like, can we have a little bit of time and space? So I said, okay, fine. We'll push it back, and it made sense for us with Juneteenth weekend and having a holiday on Monday. So it just made sense.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna help because that's Sunday. Because I remember, man, trying to go after Sunday, have to work on Monday last year. You know what I'm saying? So like having that buffer day, Juneteenth being off, you know what I'm saying? That's definitely gonna help a lot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because we're off that day.
I remember, man, like especially even after Brew Fest, man, having to go to work Monday morning. Shit. I mean, I was there physically.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But you wasn't there.
But I wasn't there, bro. My mind was somewhere else.
Yeah, I definitely need that day to just kind of go slow.
Absolutely. So if we can pivot a little bit, because we've talked about, you know what I'm saying, there's a lot of stuff going on in the city. And we touched on a little bit with you earlier about when you ran for Congress. And I remember reading a lot of your stuff about your platform, and you were talking about like you wanting the congressional office to be more accessible.
Yep.
Right? And you don't really see that. You know, like a lot of people don't even know who their congressman is at this point. And you have the Link Unlimited.
Yeah,
right? So
I did that for a number of years.
Yeah, heavily involved with the community, and you see all the stuff that's going on right now, right? Like with the kids and like so I just want to ask you, for one, is politics in your future at all, or do you think that, or are you done with that? And two, do you think there's any role of government in terms of like helping like the youth and these kids and seeing like what's going on and trying to like maybe corral a little bit of that?
So the answer to the second question, yes. But let me go to the first question. Is politics in my future? Who knows? Only God, right? But I do believe I believe everybody needs to be involved with politics. But that doesn't mean you have to run for elected office.
Okay.
Right? I mean, the interesting thing about politics is the power is when the people show up to vote.
Absolutely.
So prior to me running for office, I was an election commissioner on the Chicago Board of Elections. What that meant was, I was on a board that oversaw who got on the ballot, voter registration, and counting the votes. And one thing that I would recognize is that in our communities, 3 out of 10 people would vote, right? Where in other communities, like you think about Beverly and you think about some North Side places, you're talking about 5, 6, 7 out of 10 people would vote, right? I mean, there was one one year, one ward or one precinct or something on the north side that basically 9 out of every 10 people voted. And in politics, what happens is showing up causes attention. Because if I know you're going to show up, I mean, think about this. No one wants to cut entitlements in this country, right? Because you don't want to mess with seniors. Why? Seniors show up to vote. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I think it's important that we all are involved in politics, no matter what role. At a minimum, that we should be being involved with voting. But to the point about government being involved in helping the youth, look, here's the bottom line. All of the issues that we have in our country are driven primarily by the effects of bad public policy. Okay,
I would agree with that.
Right, that people made determinations about people's lives and made, whether it be how we talked about public assistance benefits, how we talk about you think about the public policy of marijuana, 3-strike laws, all these type of things. Bad public policy has bad impacts, and the only way you are able to reverse the bad impacts is having good public policy. And so that's why government is essential as the core. Now, it's not the only thing that participates, and when we talk about dealing with youth and we think about dealing with violence, police is not at the core of that, right? It's really about investment to ensure that you get the return that you want. I mean, I wrote an op-ed once, especially when we had that veteran that was carjacked on down the street from KImbark. Right? Yeah. Attempted carjacking, and he died of a heart attack.
Remember
that?
Yeah, I remember that. That was so sad.
It was, and these kids were like 16 years old.
Yeah.
And so the question came in my mind is, okay, they're 16 or 17, whatever it was. What could we have done 10 years ago to ensure these kids were not making that choice today, right? Yeah. And so at its core, government at its core is responsible, I think, for creating a foundation and a framework for that, because it's the biggest source of revenue and dollars you're going to have. But here's the thing, going back to my first point. If you don't show up, then when those that are in office and trying to make determinations about where money's going to go, they're going to pay attention to those people that show up, right? Yeah. I mean, if you know, here, put it like this. If you at the house and your mama coming over, right? She coming over every Sunday. And your house is a mess. What you gonna do?
You gonna clean up.
You gonna clean up, right? Yeah. Because she coming over every Sunday, right? You gonna pay attention to that.
Absolutely.
It's the same thing, right? And so thankfully we got Brandon Johnson in office now. Good, strong young brother, man, who has a different perspective on how to do some of these things. Yeah. And we hope that he's able to get the traction he needs, man, to really sow some seeds for the long term growth of the city.
Yeah, I know a lot of people didn't necessarily approve with his thoughts and his approach. Because, a lot of times, especially with the kids, when you see all the stuff, like, the flash mobs and everything, everybody just throw them in jail. You know what I'm saying? Well, like, obviously that shit has to work.
A lot of black folks say that.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
A lot of black folks say that.
So, and ironically, this is what happened in the 90s when you talk about the crime bill, that the people wanted to bring back up a few years ago when Kamala Harris was running and Joe Biden, right? But you forget about what was happening in the 90s. And black people were the ones asking.
They were.
For stiffer penalties.
They were.
Right? You know what I'm saying? So it's ironic that now we still talking about we need to just lock them up. And obviously this hasn't fucking helped. It's actually hurt us more than it's helped us. So I do hope that people give him a chance and, like, we find some sort of alternative, because ain't no rehabilitation happening in jail. You know what I'm saying? You going in and out of that system. You know what I mean? Ain't nothing happening
right,
with that.
Because I mean, the purpose of prison was very different, right?
Yeah.
And you talk about, Natalie Moore talks about this at WBEZ.
Shout out to Natalie. Chatham kid. Chatham.
She did a whole thing about people in Finland. And looking at prisons in Finland. Prisons in Finland are radically different than they are here.
Oh yeah, I saw a whole video. Like, dude,
right,
did a whole interview about, like, he has a flat screen.
Yeah,
they do classes, courses.
He basically was in a dope 1-bedroom apartment.
Basically, basically,
in jail.
Basically, right. So yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, man, I mean, there are a lot of folks that believe in prison abolition. I'm not necessarily there. I think police are part of the solution. They're not the entirety of the solution. Yeah. And it's got to be both and, right? It can't be either or. And we got to get away from talking this either or kind of stuff. It's got to be both and. You can have investment in young people, and you can also make sure you have constitutional policing. You can have both of them at the same time.
And that's what we talked about on the pod before, because I was really in Jamal Green's and Cam Buckner's. They was like, you have to invest in the youth. If these youth had more things to do, you know what I'm saying? Like, I went to CVS. I went to a vocational high school. Most of the people I graduated with are all entrepreneurs, because they went to school for AC. They went to school for auto mechanics. They went to school for they had a trade in high school. So when they got out of high school, they have 4 years of experience. Like one of my closest friends in high school, his final was to redo an engine, like from the ground up. He's a senior, 17 years old. He had to build a car engine, and for his final, had to cut it on and show that it drives and it works.
And it's definitely not that pop. Like I've talked to older plumbers and other construction people, whatever like this, but the youth don't want to work.
They don't want to
do that.
Yeah,
they want to rap.
No, but
they want to make beats. They want to.
But let me say this: that is very true. But I talked to a union friend of mine who, when they were offering some schools, some classes at a local high school, I won't mention the name, but a lot of kids didn't want to take it. They wanted to go to culinary, and we started having that conversation about it, right? And part of it is that it's broader than them just choosing. It's about them having the supports they need. Because even in plumbing and carpentry, your math skills have to be strong.
Absolutely.
And if you haven't had the strong math skills coming up, you're not going to choose that. You're going to choose culinary. Why? Because when you cook, you get instant feedback by what you taste, and you don't have to think about math. And that was the kind of thing we came up with, right? Right. That it's about, we got to create systems around the student. And we always talk about investing in youth, man, but we realize it's a two generation solution now. Right, you got to invest in parents. Like I was talking to a guy.
Absolutely.
Who said to me he was in his 60s. And he said, "Look, I was raised by a single mama, and you know, my mama snatched me up and did this and blah blah blah." And I said, "Bro, so back up. You're 57. So how many years ago was that when your mama did that?
Right.
Okay, great. Do you understand the life of a parent today is very different than when your mom was there?
Exactly.
When you talk about real wages, right? Real wages, right, are lower than they've ever been. Okay, you're not making any money. You got to work 2-3 jobs, right? You don't have supports that you need around. Okay, so when you talk about all these different pieces, you got to support parents too, man, because it's not just about the kids. Because no matter how much government wants to invest in kids, you got to support parents because they're the first line of defense for kids. You know what I'm saying?
Your kids are going to follow. The kids are going to follow the parents' footsteps.
Yeah.
Especially if you're involved. Like my youngest boy. He can't wait to work. We just landed him a summer job. Like, he was begging us to go to work. My oldest boy, he loves music just like I love music. Like, you know, we're working on a podcast for just me and him, just to focus around music because of my generation and his generation. You know what I'm saying? It's about, if you're involved in your kid's life and they see how much you work. Like, I used to have my boys at Starbucks with me when I used to close. I used to be like, all right, here's a rag, here's this. Wipe down the tables, sweep, mop. You know what I'm saying? You have to. I think parents nowadays need to stop being best friends with their kids.
Facts.
And start being a parent and teaching them little things that they can help them through life. Like, you can't be a best friend with your kid, and you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just not.
I think it's ways to do both.
I mean, yeah, it is.
I think it's definitely, especially in this day and age, man. It's good to have maybe not best friends, but
you got to set your
especially when they start getting older.
You got to create lines of communication.
Because you want your kids to be able to tell you stuff,
right?
You know what I'm saying?
Because folks don't call the house no more. You pick up the house phone.
Right.
You don't know what your kids are doing on their phone.
Exactly.
And just simply to have someone to truly count on.
Yeah, absolutely.
No doubt.
Truly count on. I can truly count on my dad because he does this. I can truly count on my mom because he's done this. And not just because I'm just saying I'm your dad, or I'm your mom, but my actions definitely show that. And just what Swain said, I haven't heard it said like that, Pop, about taking care of the parents too, or whatever, but that makes a hell of a lot of sense. You know what I'm saying? Because if I'm in a good place, then I should be in a better position to help my offspring be in the best place that they can be.
Yeah, exactly.
In that. So, that was.
And also, it's still that work ethic.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I always told this story, like, when I was younger, and I was telling my dad we had to go school shopping, and I wanted a pair of damaged jeans, and damaged jeans was like $65. And he got to the store, was like, well, I only had like $200 for you. I'm like, what you gonna do with $200? Like, this is for the whole school year, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Get your basics.
He was like, nah. He like, I thought we was gonna go to JW where they got the 2 for $20 jeans and, you know what I'm saying, the 2 for $30 shirts. And I was like, he could tell I was upset.
I'll take you to my Stell's warehouse.
You know what I'm saying? So he was like, when we got home that day, he took me to the garage and he was like, what do you see? And I'm like, I don't see nothing. I just see a garage and a car. And he's like, you got a rake you got a lawnmower, you got a shovel. If you want the finding things in life, you have to work for them. And we live in Chatham. Majority of people in Chatham and me and Terrell grew up.
Shoveling food.
Yeah. I was shoveling. I was cutting grass. I was doing all types of leaves.
Oh, yeah.
But it was just that work ethic that he instilled in me at a young age that just kept me going through life.
I think it's also a bit of a cultural thing. Because I think you said something about the solutions being multi-generational, right? Mm-hmm. So I remember, like, we talk about Chicago 50, like the early days of hip-hop. And, like, a lot of the elders during that time, especially when gangster rap and all that stuff started to become popular, they didn't really want to try to understand because they were just like, obviously we were angry. Mm-hmm. The anger and a lot of that stuff was coming out in the music because of things that were happening in our communities. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I mean, you're talking about, like, crack, mass incarceration, dealing with racism, especially you're talking about in South Central LA with the LAPD,
police brutality.
You know what I'm saying? The riots, Rodney King, all that stuff. So there was a lot of anger in the music, and there was a lot of condemnation. It was just like not trying to understand why we were angry. You know what I'm saying? Just condemning the fact that we were, and trying to just shun us for that. Right now, hip hop has obviously grown, and it's become this huge thing. But you see a lot of the same stuff with these kids, and like obviously they're angry at something. Mm-hmm. Like they're not just going down tearing shit up for no reason. Mm-hmm. Like especially at that age, you don't really understand your emotions. You don't know why you're doing this shit. You're just doing it. Right. You know what I'm saying? But nobody's really like it's the same thing. Nobody's really trying to understand what's happening. Mm-hmm. They're just like what the fuck are you doing? You need to be in jail. You know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of it responsibility lies on a lot of us that are older. And in terms of like what we have created for the children to consume.
These are our teenagers.
Yeah, these are our babies. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So what we have created for them to consume, what they've grown up looking at, what they've grown up listening to. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, they grew up in the advent of gangster rap, reality TV, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Grand Theft Auto, Call of Duty.
Internet.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, and there's a lot of violence in that. Normalized violence. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So the things that we looked at was just like, nah, that's a little crazy. For them, it's low-key normal. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And nobody's really kind of analyzing that aspect of it. People just want to, and I feel like it's the same thing that happened when hip-hop and gangster rap first came along. Nobody really wants to understand. People just wanted to call it crazy. And at some point, we really need to kind of like bridge this gap between generations, you know what I'm saying, to kind of help us understand each other. Because we all have, like I saw this recently where KRS-One said, like, when the older generation doesn't listen to the younger generation, then they miss out on new knowledge. When the younger generation doesn't listen to the older generation, they miss out on the old knowledge and the experience. Right. But we both, each piece is equally as important.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? So I see a lot of that, man. Like we're not listening to each other.
Yeah, we just gotta find what the initial shit is. And I use the analogy of like, okay, if you see some footprints of whatever and like, oh damn, I stepped in poop. You gotta go back to where the poop was because you want to clean it up.
So nobody else steps in it.
So nobody else. You should. So nobody else steps in it.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. And to trace your steps back. You know what I'm saying? To where you might have effed up. You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And stepped where you didn't see or whatever, but now you got to see, and then you're going to walk a different way. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, absolutely.
A different thing. So we definitely got to figure out where the shit is.
And truthfully,
that's facts. That's facts.
When you think about all this book banning that's going on, right? When you're talking about this attack on Black history, right? Look, when I was in law school, I took critical race theory, right? Critical theory. That's not what's being taught, right? So when you think about law school, I went to law school.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I did. Yeah. Yeah, I did. I spent 3 years there. But the attack on these and not trying, to your point, Dave, about going back and dealing where it starts. I mean, look, man, most of the issues that we're dealing with are issues come forth from our origins. And when we don't want to talk honestly about that, we did it for a quick minute, but now you have this pushback and no one wants to talk honestly about that. It doesn't lead us to the place of how we got to the policy decisions that where we are today, to that impact a lot of these things.
And you say our origins, like origins as black folks?
I'm talking about the origins in this country, yeah, man.
The country, okay.
Yeah, I mean, look, man. You know, when you think about it, our country think about slavery as a business. Okay, and we got businesses, right? You get paid wages at your job.
Yeah.
Okay, imagine how much more money they would have if they never paid you wages.
A lot.
How much more money would you have if you never had to pay wages?
Man.
Okay, so when you start thinking about a system that's really built upon a system where people aren't paying wages, and all that money is dropping to the bottom line, and it creates a certain amount of wealth, yeah, you want to keep a system like that.
Right.
I mean, if you really think about it, if you really analyze America in terms of like labor practices, right? So you had how many years of free labor, right? And then even post-slavery, I mean, during the Industrial Revolution, the people that work in these factories were making pennies.
Exactly.
Right. It wasn't until the people started to unionize that you actually started to get people at a living wage, and they still ain't found Jimmy Hoffa body behind a lot of that shit. You know what I'm saying?
And honestly, look, and I'm an entrepreneur, but I'm a progressive one and a progressive business owner, and folks still aren't making living wages.
No,
right?
so once you really got the union started to develop that power, then you got globalization. Oh well, shit. Well, we can ship this shit out to India or to Hong Kong or some factory in Malaysia and pay them the pennies that we used to pay y'all before y'all got smart. Right. You know what I'm saying? So that's why you had cities like Pittsburgh, like Detroit, like Gary, Indiana. They were these cities that were built up around industrialization that are now basically wastelands.
Gary is still the most corrupted city to me. I swear to God.
Well, Gary used to be a booming town.
Yeah, it used to be a booming town.
First black man in the country, Richard Hatcher in Gary, Indiana.
Yeah. I mean, very. But now they have casinos. And why y'all downtown look like that? Like y'all make $1 billion a year in those casinos. Y'all don't even have like a downtown or lakefront.
Think about it.
I mean, I'm sorry,
but that still just goes back to what he was saying.
Yeah.
I mean, the casinos are sucking money out of the people that could be buying the houses.
That's right.
Right.
True. Yeah.
But you know what? I want to ask you guys something before we get out of here.
Okay.
We talked about being an entrepreneur in businesses. Real quick, what is your opinion on the new thing of AI and the robots taking over these jobs that are your regular consumer jobs, like people that go to call centers, people that work at factories, people that drive trucks nowadays. Like they got multiple McDonald's now. Like a month ago they opened the first McDonald's that was only worked with robots,
completely automated,
and now they have 10 more. When do you think like Arby's and Burger King and KFC and Popeye is going to start jumping on this wave? Like, how do y'all feel about that? But being entrepreneurs and being in this business space, like, how do you feel about that? I know it's a deep conversation.
Nah,
we got to get out of
it. It ain't deep. It's pretty clear to me.
Yeah.
Well,
go ahead, Pop. Go ahead.
So I think a couple of things. I think one, man. I think that if you read, you saw this coming. Right.
Absolutely.
1984.
Absolutely.
You know, George Orwell's book. I mean, you knew this was coming. We've been talking about this forever. You look at movies. You look at all this kind of stuff. You look at the Jets. You look at the Matrix. You you saw snippets of this where we are. Right.
Yeah.
I always believe that technology can be good and it can be bad. Technology that's able to help you more quickly determine what's wrong with you in your body, and like cancer or do something like that, that's great technology.
You need that.
Okay? You need that.
Yeah.
Okay. But then there's also technology that's really, you know, to the earlier point, trying to drive wages to zero.
Yeah.
Okay. Still trying to drive wages to zero. And I think sometimes that technology is challenging, right? That you don't invest in education, right? I mean, I love histories, right? So this all ties back to history for me.
Right.
You don't invest in education, and then you're not able to produce the quality workforce that you need to get the return that you need on the dollars that you're investing. So you say, forget it. I'm just going to use technology just to eliminate the workforce, right? You're creating a society, man. How do people sustain themselves?
Yeah.
Right? How do people sustain themselves? And then, so you can talk about the other side of it, the machines taking over. I'm not going in that route because that's a whole nother thing.
Right.
I do think the government needs to regulate AI and needs to regulate that very quickly and get ahead of that, because if the experts are telling you that this could be very, very bad, you need to listen to the people that know the most.
Right.
But at the end of the day, man, I mean, it can be used for good. It can be used for bad. I mean, AI is being dealt with all the time right now. We've been using it for years.
Yeah,
Chat GPT all of a sudden comes out, and now it's like front and center. And then you had like the pictures and all that kind of stuff. it all comes out, man. But
Yeah,
but as a business owner, man, I think look, folks gonna need to eat.
Yeah.
Bottom line.
Yeah, and they gonna eat somehow.
They gonna eat somehow.
You know what I'm saying?
Right? They gonna eat. They need to eat. They gonna eat somehow.
So, ditto.
Right.
Ditto with Swain. Yeah. But to what you talked about earlier about the trades and stuff like that.
Yeah.
AI ain't cutting your hair. AI ain't dressing you.
Yeah.
AI ain't doing
Yet.
it. I mean, yet, right? You know. But I'm just saying, like, we still gonna have to find our way. And I'm just saying, as entrepreneurs, as these hustlers, you know, of culture, of whatever, in that piece, AI can't do that.
I think Earn Your Leisure, they have posted like the 10 jobs that AI can't replace, and one of them was a barber and bartenders.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
because I
saying?
mean, there still has to be some sort of.
There are bars that are making drinks
that are making
already
Yeah.
with no bartenders.
no bartenders.
Well, yeah, but you know,
Yeah, that's not. That's,
here's the thing. No, but here's the thing. We thought the one thing you could protect was creativity because that's a human thing, right?
nah, AI is taking that.
Not even
away.
that.
AI's taking that over.
Our shout out to our co-hosts that are not here today. One of our co-hosts, Sean, he took one of our episodes and put it into Chat GPT, and it broke down the whole episode,
Yeah, it gave us
and
a
even
synopsis.
gave us a video edit with words.
Yeah,
Wow.
got a whole
And I was
synopsis
like-
of it. Yeah, it was crazy.
Wow.
That's crazy. He like,
So did it show y'all and
yeah, it gave us a
and y'all look like y'all?
yeah, it gave
Okay.
us a whole hour clip. It edited and added the captions in, like,
Wow.
it chopped it up, and it even gave us a summary
Wow.
of what the episode was about.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nah, it's really wild, man. When you think about
That
like,
you know, and one of my guys was like, "That's fucking with editing." He like, "Cause I build websites." Like,
Yeah.
nah, and it even and you see it now with the music. You know, with I mean
Yeah.
that's
taking
a,
the voices.
yeah,
and
that's a
things like
huge thing now that they're trying to get out in front of and regulate because you really are. I mean, and in a sense, because I know so there are people on both sides of it. Because I remember Timberland was saying like this could be a great thing because you can really we can have a new Biggie album, we can have a new Pac album, and it could be quote unquote original work. But
Nah, it's not. They're dead. You can,
and so but that's weird.
They're no longer in the living, bro.
Yeah, and so for me that would be weird as fuck.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but other people are thinking of it like that. It could be a good thing. I think a lot of times, man, when in terms of technology, like you say, it could be a good thing, it could be a bad thing. I read this piece a while ago on transhumanism, where basically a lot of these billionaires and like you know what I'm saying are using like research and basically trying to transcend the human condition, basically trying to find a way, and like Elon Musk is kind of like the start of this with that Neuralink chip. Basically, they want to be able to upload consciousness into a computer, right? Transcending the human condition. So basically, once the body expires, the consciousness lives on, right? And you can study like how the neurons connect and how everything like controls like how the brain controls the body and through the nerve endings and all that other stuff. But you still can't understand what creates a consciousness, right? Point being is that there's so much money and research being brought into something that could be at the end of the day a fucking pipe dream. But we got like real live issues that a lot of this money and this research could be going to help solve.
this is what you read at 2 a.m.
I mean, I'll be reading a lot.
I'm gonna say that I really rock with y'all because y'all some educated brothers. You know what I'm saying? This has been some good topics here.
I mean,
in that.
man. We like to.
I just say it not to cut you, Pop. I just say like in anything, and just like I stated before about reinventing yourself, whatever, and being able to do that, you have to stay up on what's new and that.
Absolutely.
So I would just say educate yourself as much as you can on AI and see what you put in. Us as entrepreneurs, we don't recreate a lot of stuff. We just add to it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We provide services for people to do that, and I think that's just what it is. This is the time that we're in. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, so before we go, man, to pivot this last conversation, I just want to ask you,
Yes,
because the closed sessions joints have been crazy.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
I mean, the people that y'all have on, man, you know what I'm saying? Especially y'all had the Alchemist, which is one of my favorite producers, man. I don't know if the Alchemist ever really gets his due.
Yeah.
Y'all had Primo on there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Clark, Jeff.
Yeah.
Jess.
I mean, Just Blaze, Ray, the chef on there.
Yeah.
Well, I will be attending more of them because I'm not working double jobs.
Yeah, okay. So can you tell us anything that may be on the horizon? Can you share anything?
Have you ever jumped around?
I have. Before.
Okay. Jumping around is coming.
Okay.
If you know what I mean.
Okay.
Who produced all of that?
Yeah. I follow you.
Yeah.
So that's he got two letters.
Two letters in his name.
Yeah. I follow you.
Fuck it, y'all. Muggs is coming soon. Muggs is on his way. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
That's
so. I'll tell you, if y'all follow me, keep up with me, with y'all or whatever like that. We'll have him July 20th.
Okay.
DJ Muggs. So shout out to my partner Alex Fruchter. Goes by DJ RTC or whatever. It's been a great thing, Pop. It's been a great thing because Alex is this hip hop journalist.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So he approaches a lot of the artists like from this really heavy journalistic perspective, whatever. And me, I'm the culture. A lot of these guys are like personal homies. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I might have these conversations of experiences that we've had on the road here, there, or whatever, doing a show or something like that. So it just comes together as one big great pie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because
it's a private dinner for a small group. That then it turns into a party afterwards with it, and it's been great. So it's been growing. We had our first like big major sponsorship to where it was white label, like it was a brand that basically paid us to put it on. Nice. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. And so the guests for the talk were all their guests. And it was just great. And so it's just going further like that. And then been kind of pushing the idea too about streaming, like some of the network stuff or whatever, to have these things and then move it around. So it's been going great, man. It's been going great.
With your relationships. I once got a phone call from you not too long ago because Vegas Jones had. Well, first off, you had a Puma. You do still have a Puma with
Puma family all day.
Puma family.
Yep.
And we was trying to get everybody to
get on it.
Get on it. Share. Hashtag. So about a month later.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Vegas Jones. Shout out to Vegas. I don't know you personally.
Big homie.
Shout out to you. He posted a shoe, and I was like, "Hey man, that shoe cool and all, but what's up with that Dave Jeff fly joint?" Dave literally called me 10 minutes later, like, "Yo, Pop, remove that from that,
please." No. And okay, so one thing about M is definitely for us and building us, and he has a It's a rhyme and reason type thing. You know what I'm saying?
The method to the madness.
Method to the madness. Exactly. That's exactly it. And just at that time was to make a point about this mixtape thing because it's a lot backstory with the mixtape thing,
right,
and how it happened, what couldn't happen, why it's happening now, whatever. So it wasn't a Dave Jeff moment at the time; it was a mixtape moment, or whatever. He was just like, "Popo," he hit me, "Popo, hey, man, hey, I just got a comment on the thing, man. Can you reach out to your man? Just that. It's not that. We all about Dave. We love Dave. He loves Dave. We love Dave. Puma loves Dave.
Hey, look,
right here. This is what we on because we building and this has to happen so we can do Dave.
I was just honored that he did that. Like he saw the comment.
Yeah.
Like I was just like, cause like even I'm a huge Jay-Z fan.
Yes, sir.
And when I first met Vegas was outside of the Hyatt at one of my old jobs, and we was out there and I froze up like I was nervous as shit. I'm like, this is Jay's guy.
Right.
This is
right hand. Right. Boom.
You know what I mean? So I was just like, all right, man. I instantly removed it.
Right.
And I did fire emojis. Shout out to,
Right.
I fall back.
No, it was good the way he just called it. I'm just saying, and he, with all due respect, that's one of those things. With all due respect, and exactly what he said. No, Dave Pop, we love you. Know what this is. You know what I'm saying? Puma love, but we have to do this in this moment to do a Dave thing or whatever. Right. And that's exactly why I called you in that.
Like you always say, everything happens when it's time.
When it's time,
in divine time.
And it's time.
Yes, sir.
And in 7 days away, it's gonna be time.
It's gonna be time.
Yeah.
Summertime.
Hyde Park Summerfest.
Summertime shot. Anything you want to tell the people last minute before we get out of here about Hyde Park Summerfest? Any surprise guests? Any last minute things happening?
Yeah, I say this, man. let me get that wristband. She got a wristband.
Yo, Rell.
Bro,
Let me see a
Wristband real quick. Boop. Right. So for everybody watching, this is what gets you into the fest. It gets you in and around the fest, right? So you buy your ticket, you're still gonna have to pick this up. So we're gonna have some times out for people to be able to come pick up their wristbands early. Make sure you do that. Make sure when you can come get your wristbands to allow you to get in a lot quicker. And this is what's gonna be the thing that gets you in and gets you around the fest. So just because you buy the ticket, you still gotta get the wristband, and that's gonna be an important piece.
And
it's cashless too. Talk about that.
It's cashless, and I'm not selling them. So stop hitting me, ask me like, Pop, you got some bands I can buy from you? No.
No, like I hit you the other day. Like a vendor was like, "Yo, hey,
can I vend?
Can I vend?" I'm like, "Shorty."
It's like 2
the
weeks
deadline
away.
was April 1st.
Right? We're 7 days
And
away.
then when I hit it with the price, I was like, "Yo, I think it's like over like $2,000 to vendor."
Yeah.
Wait, what? It's over two. I'm like, yeah. Like this is a $1 million festival going on here. Like this is big
not
business.
And not to say, just so we clear and everything, not to be like, like y'all should know or whatever, stuff like this. Like, probably it's stuff, as we talked about before, that we're learning every day.
Yeah, we all growing.
Yeah.
We all growing at this, man.
And growing, and in this growth, man, in this growth, we went from a couple of quarters to a couple of dollars.
Hey, man, it take money to make money, man.
Like I told her, I'm like, look, when these festivals end, maybe like a month or 2 months after this festival end, they're already in the works of working on next
month
year.
or 2 months.
The week.
Next year's being started right now.
Yeah.
Oh,
Those
shit.
conversations.
Those conversations are being started right now.
So you watch the show, get in tune.
Yeah.
For next year, get your shit
And
together.
last but not least, bro, don't be trying to bury no fucking bottles in the midway, Joe.
Don't do
Man.
it.
Dude, man, that's some lame as fuck, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Are you really that pressed?
That's the lamest, bro.
Yeah, you really that pressed, bro? You can't.
But you gotta give him kudos for like, man, he gonna buy a ticket.
He did buy a ticket to get in. He brought his ticket. He was like, I purchased the ticket.
He did say that.
But he was like, I'm just trying to figure out, you know what I'm saying, the whole land of the land, so I can just go ahead and have a box.
he get a D+ for effort for buying the ticket.
No,
You know what I'm saying?
but in all sincerity, man, look, we appreciate the community support. We're not here but for the community. I know we make jokes of folks, and folks make comments to us about different things as we're growing and all those kind of things and growing pains. But look, we appreciate the support we've gotten from the city, because if it's not for the city of Chicago, we are not. This is not about Hyde Park. This is about the city of Chicago. If it ain't for the support of people in the city of Chicago, we ain't here doing this, right? So we are grateful, and we look forward to that continued support, especially as we open up on the 17th.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. So shout out to the people, man. Hyde Park Summerfest. Tell the people where they can follow you at.
At Dave Jeff on IG, at the real Dave Jeff on Twitter, at Dave Jeff on Facebook, twofirstnames.com, flyworldwide.com. Boom. Let's go.
That other fraudulent Dave Jeff still on Twitter, huh? He's still in.
You know what? It's an older Caucasian gentleman that will not give it to me. He has like 2 followers. He has like 10 followers. 10. I think the last time I check it from time to time. I think
I was Dave Jeff before you were Dave Jeff. That's what he said.
That's exactly what he said. So boom, reached out to us. So hence why it's at the real Dave Jeff. Was like that. Okay. It's cool. It's cool.
Johnathan, where can they follow you at, man?
Johnathan T. Swain on IG, and check us out at hydeparksummerfest.com.
Is T. Swain on IG?
Yeah, Johnathan T. Swain. Yes, my middle name T.
What's the T? T is your middle name?
No, my middle name's Tyrone.
Damn.
Yeah.
You better call.
Stop.
Call Tyrone. Y'all call Tyrone.
Stop.
He got the hookup. He got all the tickets.
Tyrone has all the tickets. Tyrone has no tickets, okay? Tyrone has no tickets.
Right,
you got to go to the website.
Tyrone has no tickets. He has all the bands.
No, I have no bands. You got to go to the website.
Tyrone got the bands.
No, see.
Bands that make you dance. Bands that make you dance.
Go get that AI and cut that. Anyway.
Yeah, man. Rell the producer, 914. Also, 914 Media Group, both on Instagram.
Hey, man, make sure y'all check out the website will launch on Hyde Park Summerfest weekend. It is eoppodcast.com. Make sure y'all get on there for the merch, the videos, everything up top.
Yes, sir.
Class of 1979, as you see on the T-shirt. Holla at your boy, Easily Offended, man. We out. Peace.
Peace out.
I